Hello students, it's Mrs. Cinti here, and I am ready to talk to you a little bit about adding integers. Now, adding 2 plus 2 is something that you know 4. But what about when you're adding negatives? What about when you're adding negatives with positives? Okay, so that's what we want to pay attention to today. How do we do that? So I always find that thinking about my bank account, as I've said before, is the easiest way for me to kind of envision it. Okay, so you need to think about what scenario is going to help you best understand that, and maybe using the number line is best. Maybe using a bank account, maybe using a borrowing system, whatever it is, you want to think of that. So here's the first scenario. I had $300 in my bank account. But I owed a rent check, let's say, of $500. How much money will I have? Okay, so that means that here I am on the number line. Here's that 0. Okay, I had $100, $200, $300. Okay, and let's go ahead and do negative 100, oops, negative 200, negative 300, okay, 100 and 200. Let's go ahead and fill it in. So here I am. I'm right there at the 300 mark right here. Okay, but I have to get rid of $500. So here's 100, here's 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, so that means that I am now at negative $200. So how much money do I have? Negative $200. Okay, so what I want you to think about is on the number line, you move right for positive numbers, and you move left, right? You move left for negative numbers or negative integers. Okay. Let's say that now I'm at negative 200, so let's add to this scenario. Okay, now I'm at this negative 200 mark, but I get paid $700, and that's clearly a positive, right? I get paid $700. So now I get to move right because I'm adding a positive number. So now I get to move right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if this was 300, this is 400, and this is 500. So now I have a $500 balance in my banking account. Okay, so now let's break it down and really pay attention. When you are adding like signs, so this is, okay, one way, so just be careful, right? You can look at it as you're looking at it on the number line, which is super helpful, okay? You can look at it like a bank account balance, which is very helpful and often looks the same as a number line. Or you could try to memorize the way to do it. And I don't know that this is super helpful because you really have to understand why adding a negative is actually bringing your number down, okay? But let's go ahead and let's look at this. So when you add like signs, so this is kind of more than memorization, but it's another way to say the same thing. Like signs means that they're both positive or they're both negative. Or, oops, sorry, I should have said or negative. Okay. So what's happening here is, let's say, for example, they're both positive. What this means is that if I have 8 plus 2, I have 10, right? You are on the number line, and I know you know this answer, so I'm trying not to linger on this. But here I am at 8, right? Here I am at 8, and then I'm adding 2 more, 1, 2, and so now I'm at 10, right? That's how it works on that number line. If I have, if they're both negative, what happens here? Okay, so they're both negative. let's say that I have -3, and then, so the way I think of these when they're both negative is I owe my parents $3. So I'm in the hole already, $3. And then I ask them for $5 more, right? So here I'm at -3, and then I'm asking for more money. I'm saying, hey, can I have $5 more? So on the number line, what that looks like is here I am at 1, 2, 3, -3. And now I'm asking if they will give me, they will give me $5 more. So I will owe them $5 more. So I'll be $5 more in debt. So that's 1, right? We have to move to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. And so this is -3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. -8. Okay. The other way, so just like in positive and in negative, positive you just add the two integers together. Here you add the two, if they're both negative, you add the integers together and keep the sign, okay? Add values and keep sign. And this is meaning to say add their absolute values, right? Because the absolute value of -3 is 3, the absolute value of -5 is 5, so you're adding 3 and 5, and you're just keeping that sign, okay? But key to understand it, okay? So quickly you would say add values. When you're adding like signs, right, you add values and keep their sign. Now this is only if they're like signs, okay? What if they're unlike signs? So let's go ahead and look if they're unlike signs. So unlike signs, meaning one's negative, positive plus a negative, right? You're adding a positive and a negative together, or a negative and a positive. It doesn't really matter, right? Unlike signs, you're adding unlike signs. So here we go. Let's say that you were you owed your parents $4, but then you found $2 under the car seat, so you added $2. You gave them the $2. So you owed them $4, but you found $2, so you gave it to them right away, okay? So that means that you only owe them $2 more, but you still owe them, okay? On the number line again, here we are at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at -4. Here's our 0. We always put our 0 in there. -3, -2, -1. You are at -4 to start off with. And then you're adding a positive value. So on the first kind of set of notes, you know that when you add a positive, you're moving to the right. So you move 1, 2 to the right, and that's why you're at -2. You still owe them money, but anyways. What if, let's go ahead and do something like this. Let's say that we have, okay, let's say that we just switch it. Let's say that we have 2 plus a -4, okay? Here, in this scenario, you're starting with $2, but then you have to pay $4 for your friend's meal, right? And you only had $2 left. So now you had to borrow $2 from your parents. So it's the same thing on the number line. It doesn't matter. Remember, when you add things, it doesn't matter what you're adding to each other. They're still combining the values. So here we are at 0, and here we are at 2, 1, 2. And then you are losing $4. So if you're adding a negative, you have to go back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the -1. And here's the -2. And so that's why your answer is again -2. Okay, let's do a couple more examples, and then I'm going to set you free on this. So let's say you are in debt $10. That's the way I want you to think of it. You owe someone $10, and you give them $6, right? You give them $6. How much do you owe them still, or do you not owe them anything? Where are you at? Okay, so here we are, -10. We give them $6. You subtract these values. You have 4 and you keep the larger sign, okay? So what the kind of the memorization thing, and that's why I'm saying memorization, which I don't want you to do, I just want you to understand it. What you do when you are adding unlike signs is that you subtract the values and then assign, which is funny, or assign the sign of the larger value. So let's think about this that way. Okay, subtract the values and then assign the sign of the larger value. So which value is larger? Which absolute value is larger? 10 is bigger than 6, right? So you subtract the 2, and then because 10 is bigger, that's the larger value, you put that sign back on it, that negative. That's what that one is saying. Okay. Negative 20 plus 30, the bigger value is the 30. You're subtracting 20 from it. You have $30, you subtract $20 from it, and suddenly you have $10 left, okay? On the number line, okay, which may help you visualize it better. You're at negative 20. Because it's in tens, we can count by 10. So negative 10, 0, 10, 20, 30. We'll see if that's helpful, right? And so you're at negative 20 and you're adding 30, so you have to go over 1, 2, 3 places, and so you're at the 10. Okay, so whichever way is going to help you do it is the way that you want to go ahead. So go ahead and practice a ton, and I'll see you with any questions you have later.